Hello, everyone, and welcome to the review of the much anticipated India against Pakistan. We knew last night that when we do this session, it'll either be one where we can't stop our smiles and our happiness, or it'll be one where we can't hold back our depression. Um, but I think I've got Zahid with me. Zahid, I think we probably did not expect capitulation of the sort that we saw today.
Maybe majority of us did not, but there's always I've been through many experiences with this team to realize that we're always one bad performance away. And look, it's easy to say it happens, you can get over it, but it was an awful performance, especially from the position that Pakistan was in, which wasn't exceptional in any case. So we'll get to that. But yeah, at the end of the day, look, it's disappointing. In the previous preview episode that we did do, I was trying to convince myself to be optimistic. But if you look at our first initial workout preview, you can see how I was more realistic about Pakistan's chances, especially in this game.
It's actually that Rizwan innings and that Sri Lanka chase that gave us that slight, hope. You know what I mean? That's the real killer. Because I'm the same boat as you. And look, I'm sure many of us watching today have joined in just to find a way to share in the sorrow. So, and just get into the detail. What happened, right? If we start from the beginning, right? This Babar and Rizwan partnership, and even before, like Abdullah Shafiq, Imam Haq, they all got starts, but at no point did it seem as if we were taking the game away from India, which is why at no point did I seem at all comfortable.
Yeah, I think that was the problem. Even when we were watching together, it was like one wicket away from a collapse, or just even when they were batting, Babar and Rizwan, they batted pretty slow, and we'll get onto that. Their partnership was 4.5 at the end of it, got 4.5 and over. But also, the intent wasn't there. They were putting the bad balls away. Some of them even not that they were hitting it straight to the fielder. But there was no attempt to walk down. Shafiq tried it once to Bumrah. I think he hit him for four. No aggressive shots. No sixes. I think Sharma alone in the first couple of overs hit more sixes than Pakistan in their entire innings, which is zero. They didn't even attempt to hit one. Hassan Ali tried, but Hassan Ali being Hassan Ali got more height than distance.
Yeah, and look, there are 2 points on that I'll bring up. One, I mean, yeah, that's sixes, but also, again, we've talked about this 100 times, right? But somehow Pakistan just doesn't pick it up. Dot ball percentage. Again, dot ball percentage was so high. It was only overs where there was a boundary scored where the number of runs was higher than the number of balls in the over, right? If there's no boundary, it'll be 2 run overs, 3 run overs. And what that does is it allows a bowler to settle and find its rhythm. So I don't think Yadav was actually that fluent in the first 3 overs, but because we just don't know how to nudge the ball around for singles, doubles, like the Indians were doing, it allowed the bowlers that were probably not looking as on song to get on song. And then when they do, they get wickets in quick succession, as we saw.
Like the Siraj spell, right? Because he came back, his first over and his second spell went for 12, 13. That was the first over where Pakistan didn't have a single dot ball. And then Babar plays a stupid shot and gets out in his next over.
Yeah.
And again, the way the Pakistanis play the spinners, you saw how India stepped. Okay, fine, they had no pressure, but they didn't step out to Kuldeep or Jadeja even once. So Shakil stuck on his crease. Okay, we are big fans of him, but it looked so amateur. Some of the wickets. Iftikhar was a bit unlucky, he hit his glove, but still, he made it look like made Kuldeep look like prime Shane Warne.
On the other my batting ball. But no, I mean, look, the one person, even though he was like this, I think it was the 8th wicket down, Mohammad Nawaz. Now, you know that at that point in time, your only goal is to just play out the 50 overs, and you're the only recognized batter left. That's why you're perhaps even in the team. Hassan Ali has just hit Pandya for a 4, right? He can be the aggressor if you need someone to be an aggressor. Nawaz had to stay there till the end. But then he tried to drag a ball that wasn't really there to be hit straight to the fielder. Even though, yes, okay, the game was probably lost by then, but it just showed there was no thinking. The dressing room was just probably shell-shocked at what was happening, and nobody had communicated. He didn't think of it himself. And annoying. I'm losing patience here with Nawaz because Nawaz has done this a couple of times, right? T20s, one days. He can't finish it off. In this case, it wasn't even finishing off a game and winning a game. It was just keeping your team alive.
We've seen other teams, right? India, we've had collapses in the past in the Asia Cup first game against Pakistan, but they find a way to just stop that collapse, stop the bleeding, and then come back and make a match out of it. Even in the T20, in the World Cup semi-final in 2019, India were 20 for 4. Yeah. And they came back, and Dhoni and Jadeja, they got them nearly close to the target against New Zealand.
Even the match they lost to us in the T20 World Cup that we've seen the highlights of 125 times, in that game, they were like nothing and they were like only 3 runs and over. And then they just found a way because they kept playing positive cricket to get to 152. We beat them, but it was still a competitive score. The issue with not having positive intent till the last 10, 15 overs is it's actually high risk strategy because if you lose a couple of wickets, you're neither here nor you're there. And it puts an enormous pressure. I think Rizwan got out because he was under a lot of pressure. He didn't know whether to accelerate or to be an anchor.
And I guess it also kind of is a good way to move on to the next point, which is Babar Azam in his post-match interview said that 280, 290.
He is obsessed with those numbers, 280, 290. He's stuck in 1998. I mean, firstly, it's sad that you were thinking that when you were 150 for 2. And secondly, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Nasser Hussain. I think he's a great commentator, but he got it wrong. This wasn't a 280 to 90 pitch. India showed that. I know it gets easier under lights. And I know Pakistan didn't know it would get a bit tougher with the older ball, so they didn't attack. But you need to attack when you are in front. You can't bank on the fact that you'll stay in front later, right? And even so, we made the pitch look like a minefield. This is what Pakistan do. We make pitches look like minefields. It really wasn't. You needed 300 at least to be competitive. So, and at 150 for 2, the fact that you weren't even thinking of a 3-figure score, of a figure that started with 3, is just really depressing.
It's shocking how they think, to be honest. Again, I think Nasser Hussain was just doing his job as a neutral commentator, trying to make a match out of it for the Pakistanis. Oh, there's some demons in the pitch. They weren't. And even if they were, you saw Rohit Sharma first ball, flicking Afridi, a couple of overs later, Shubman Gill stepping out, trying to hit. And that's what you need to do. Pakistan didn't try that even once, whether to Bumrah, to Siraj, only once to Bumrah. Once. And that was
actually when Shafiq got out. I wanted Imam to get, because Imam, that he will get to max 60 and he'll be the ultimate stat padder and just get out. Abdullah Shafiq, he's good against spin. He would have taken it long. But I mean, the way Imam got out, come on. What sort of voodoo was it that Sharif Pandya did? If it was Pakistan doing it, that'd be ball tampering and all the rest of it.
But anyways, speaking of stat padders, Mr. Babar Azam, world number 1, 50 and out.
50 and out. I mean, how close? Like how much more stat padder can you get? I mean, it's now obviously he didn't do it on purpose, but again, I think you're fair to say nearly all dismissals were not due to good bowling. I mean, the bowling was phenomenal. For the conditions, it was fantastic. They bowled full, got hammered, brought it back immediately. But it was just poor shot selection. I mean, at Babar Azam, when you're 50, you should not be misreading the line of a ball the way that he did, right? It seemed as if he got he was probably upset he didn't get an ovation on his 50 or something like that, which we will talk about, right? I mean, the fact that he was booed at the toss, the fact that there were, nobody acknowledged his 50. And the worst, I mean, it deterred Rizwan of getting to 50 clearly because he took 15 balls at between 45 and 50, right? He's hoping for more Pakistanis to get their visas by the time he gets to 50. I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh. And guess what? I talked about Billie Jean last time. This time, Pakistan song, Coke Studio Chalalo. But no, instead they had My Universe by Coldplay, as neutral a song as the name suggests.
Yeah, I know Mickey Arthur has made some comments about it. Not that it has anything to do with the performance, but after the support in Hyderabad, it was a bit disappointing, to be honest. Look, it is what it is. We're playing in India, and that's what it is. Even in the Australia game, there was obviously massive support for India, but you have your 1-2% Australians there, but it didn't see. Even the guy who was waving the Pakistan flag in the crowd, seemed like a volunteer because he had the lanyard and stuff around him. So, um, but anyways, look, I mean, enough dissection of Pakistan's capitulation. Credit to India, they bowled really well. The batting, it's easier when you're chasing 200, 190, but they made it look like an absolute road.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we can blame losing the toss and bowling with dew all we want, but it made no difference. Really, what was the key differentiation was the quality. I mean, and Rohit Sharma, he made it look so easy, as if you're like, why won't you hit every ball for six? You know what I mean? Like, Hardis Rauf, his second ball, I mean, people talk about the Kohli six in Melbourne given the match situation, but that one was incredible, and you have those shots time and again. But I'm so glad that a bowler got man of the match, right? Because really, 150 for two in classic Pakistan style to 191 all out. It's the bowlers, right? I mean, we said it time again. I thought they were fantastic.
And to be honest, if they wanted to, they could have won it by 10 wickets in 35 overs. They just batted through, tried to hit their shots, lost a couple of wickets. I don't think Pakistan got a wicket, to be honest.
You can just tell they're enjoying their cricket. You can tell that they feel that this is their World Cup. They come in, you talked about '03 Australia, and I laughed at you, but I'm beginning to see, in fact, I'm beginning to see that sort of, that sort of almost arrogance, but in a good way, come out, especially when they come out to bat, because, batting is their forte. And it's just terrific to see that. And at no point, now a Pakistan losing Gill early, a Pakistan, oh, is there a stutter? Oh, Babar Azam will take like 6 balls to get off the mark and all that. But no, temperament, first class. But look, we've talked a lot about, all that's good about India, but Shardul Thakur, right? I mean, he's clearly the weakling in the bowling attack. And to say that he's still in the team at number 8 is something to be said. But Pakistan had decided before, you can tell, to attack him. But what does attack mean for Pakistan? 6 runs and over. Run a ball. 7 runs and over. Maximum. Here's a guy who they're desperate to get overs out of just so that they can get their 50 over quota. You have to attack them. When you're 80 for 2 or 70 for 1, I mean, what are you waiting for? Christmas.
Yeah, I agree. I think they needed to target him. But again, Rohit was very clever. The way you sparingly used him, he saw that he went for 10, 12 in his 2 overs. So he held him back. And also the other bowlers were bowling so well that he didn't need to go back to him. So a bit of miscalculation also by the batsman. They could have, even Kuldeep's first over went for 8, and then Rohit took him out of the attack and then brought him back when a couple of wickets fell. So it was very good. The way kind of used his bowlers.
I'm going to be a bit critical. Although overall I think he was fantastic. But I think he could have brought Bumrah on earlier before Siraj. Now, I know Siraj got the wicket, and now Rohit Sharma will sit back vindicated that he made the right decision. But he should have brought Bumrah back earlier. I think the collapse may have happened even sooner. I don't think Kuldeep should have come out of the attack for a couple of overs. But even if he did, that wasn't that big a deal. But for me, it was the fact that Bumrah hadn't come back. Yeah. I think he felt Rohit was scared that it was going to be, Pakistan are going to play out, as you'd expect, the full 50 overs, and they're going to threaten to get a big score. So he was saving Bumrah for the end, which is a Babar Azam technique, which we know does not work, right? As you saw today, right? You don't assume that you're going to have that even the 48th over will be a very important one. If you do your basics right, and if you actually bring your bowlers back, ace bowlers up front, and they do well, over 48 could be a formality.
So that being said, I think we need to, I guess, move on from Pakistan and this game and look forward. Pakistan have only lost 1 game, although it was an annihilation. Where does Pakistan go from here? They've got Australia next. Australia themselves is not in the best position. Now you can look at it one of 2 ways. Australia have lost 2 and 2. They're going to come hard at Pakistan, and it's going to be like, okay, back to the Australia of 2006, 2007. Or are we going to see a mild, tame Australian team which Pakistan can capitalize on and hopefully get a win?
So the answer is very easy. Australia, especially after 2 losses, backs against the wall, a very dangerous team. Winners by DNA, 5-time, World Cup winners. They're our second boogie team. So they will definitely come hard. I think there will be psychological pressure, one because it's Australia, and two because it's just off the back of this Indian loss. But what do Pakistan do? That's the key question. So, firstly, I think they really need to rethink their selection here. Okay, I'm going to bring this up again, and I hope, just like with Fakhr Zaman, I hope this time will be hopefully the time when the change happens. Shadab Khan neither does it with the bat, neither does he do it with the ball. Okay, I know this is counterintuitive because here you've seen a batting collapse and you may be scared to reduce your batting lineup, but that's on the batters, right? By not having Osama Mir in, you are not benefiting the batting because I don't think Shadab Khan is that amazing with the bat, and you are also weakening your bowling, right? So I think Osama needs to come in. One of Nawaz or Shadab needs to give way. I think it's Shadab who needs to give way because Nawaz, I thought, despite his horrible way of getting out, was a better bowler, I thought, today. And also, two leggies when you lose the toss and bowl with dew, like, with a wet ball, is risky. So, and finger spinners have done well in this World Cup. So I think Osama Mir needs to come in. Trust the batters. Forget the collapse, right? Hopefully, this is a one off. Pakistan always have a one off. West Indies in 2019. You just have to back your top seven. They should come good. Don't make negative decisions based on this one collapse. Be positive. And the second thing is you need to win the toss. Come on, Babar. 3 losses. I mean, he always loses the big game. Semi-final, final, always.
Yeah. The other thing I think that this game, Pakistan, I guess they'll probably bank on is Imam's done just enough to secure his place in the team. Fantastic 36 from him. If say you'd want Shadab out and Osama Mir in, but if they were to make that change, it would probably be for Nawaz. To be honest, that's what they will do if they had to make that change. Just because
it's captain, right? I mean, you have to. Yeah, fine.
The only positive Pakistan can take from this, I guess, is it's still early in the tournament. They can still qualify. They've got a good chance. They need to win at least, I would say, 4 of their next 5-6 games. That should put them in a good position. The net run is taking a hit, but if you win most of your games, then that shouldn't be a problem.
Yep, fingers crossed. But look, there you have it, right? It was a drubbing. We expected better from Pakistan, but all credit to India. But hopefully optimistic that Pakistan start doing the basics right, and we hopefully start to see a bit of a recovery. We've got another boogie team next, but more importantly than that, hopefully this World Cup will start living up to its expectation. We've got some big games this coming week, and we hope that the top 4 don't get decided too quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.